Hey everybody, just doing a video here discussing Trudeau's speech that he gave today. First of all, I'm going to be talking about hand sanitizers as well. Just let me pause this here real quick. So here we are on the CBC website, and here he says, the headline is, as caseloads spike in 4 provinces, Trudeau warns that pandemic will be worse in the fall. So the 4 provinces he's talking about is British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, and Quebec. And he says, Trudeau says Canadians won't be able to gather for Thanksgiving, but we still have a shot at Christmas. Once again, how does he know all this stuff? And why does he think the pandemic's going to be worse in the fall? First of all, if we've implemented all these measures, everyone's wearing masks, not me, so I'm the bad one. Everyone's social distancing, restaurants are half closed, churches only have 50 people, and mask mandates everywhere. Everyone's following all the requirements from Dr. Bonnie Henry and the chief health officer Teresa Tam, etc., etc. Why is there a spike? If there is a spike, is it because something else is going on here? Because if you're following all these guidelines and there's still a spike, so what are we supposed to do? Just close down society until there's no more cases at all? It's pretty amazing. We knew they were going to try to implement the second lockdown. They said that months and months ago. I don't know how they have a crystal ball. Maybe it's because this was part of their planned agenda or not. But here we are, right? September 23rd. One second here. Let me just read this article. Let's go with it. Go through it together. So, in a rare televised national address, Justin Trudeau took to the airwaves tonight to warn that Canadians are at a crossroads as COVID-19 cases spike in some provinces. Okay, so he's talking about spiking cases. What he doesn't tell you is that the deaths, the amount of people actually dying from COVID-19 has dropped like a rock, which is a good thing. But why don't they talk about that? You have to ask yourself these hard questions and these actual simple questions where they make it seem like, oh my God, the cases are rising. Oh my God. Oh my God. But then the deaths are not inequivalent to the amount of cases. So what's going on here? Obviously, like I've said in other videos, it's because they're testing way more people to give you the impression that there's a resurgence of this virus, which is simply not the case. If you're testing way more people, and even with the testing they're using something that's giving, from what I've read, a 50% false positive. Do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. But I do know that the government and the media together in cahoots are making it seem like there's a resurgence of this virus, when in actuality, if you're looking, okay, let's put it this way. If there's a resurgence, or if there's way more cases and the deaths are going down, that means this virus is not even nearly as serious as they've been telling us. Right? That's common sense. All these people are getting the virus. No one's dying from it anymore. The amount of the people dying, and I'll show you that statistics in a second, are an average age of 85 years old. So I'll show you that in a minute, but I want to get through this article. And this statistical information is coming directly from the Center for Disease Control in British Columbia. Once again, all this information is available for anybody who wants to do the research. Once again, you don't have to be conspiracy minded to ask questions and go on government websites and research statistics from government agencies. It's not hard to do, and this is not like some conspiracy I'm blowing out of my ass. This is coming from straight government websites. I'll show you that in a minute though. Okay, let's continue reading. So cases are spiking in some provinces, and with pandemic conditions in the fall expected to be worse than what the country endured when the crisis was just beginning. Now, what they're expecting more deaths and more cases. It's flu season. Now, does anyone think that they're going to attribute any of the flu cases and deaths to COVID-19? I can promise you that they will be. I can promise you that. So it says here, Canada entered an order shutdown of economic and social life in mid-March, when there were only a few dozen new cases being reported each day. But that's because they weren't testing as many people as they are now. And they don't tell you that. Now, with 1,000 new cases reported nationwide yesterday, Trudeau said there can be no doubt that 4 of the country's provinces, Alberta, BC, Ontario, and Quebec, are in the second wave of COVID-19. I don't know where they came up with this second wave, but do viruses always come in second waves? I don't know, but that's what they're leading us to believe with this whole scenario. I don't know if I've ever heard that in my life, a second wave. I know this isn't the news that any of us wanted to hear, and we can't change today's numbers or even tomorrow's, but we can change is where we are in October and into winter. Once again, remember, it's all fear-based because the deaths are dropping like a rock and the cases are going up because they're testing way more people. So all this is a fear pandemic. This is not a real pandemic. There's no way it's a real pandemic. Pandemics require people to die. The amount of people that have died in British Columbia from September 3rd to from September 3rd to about September 23rd was 16 people. So this is not a pandemic, not even close to being a pandemic, but they want to keep the fear alive, and now they're using this large amounts of cases. If no one's dying and all these people are asymptomatic, what are we talking about here? Why is this all coming on the media airwaves? It's simply to scare us into submission. And it's all too likely we won't be gathering for Thanksgiving, but we have a shot at Christmas. Once again, who's going to listen to this guy? I'm going to do whatever I want. I don't believe any of this nonsense. Just because he says we're not going to gather for Thanksgiving, guess what? I will be. And I will be gathering for Christmas as well. Because you're not going to tell me what to do based on your BS inflated cases, trying to keep this ridiculous, overblown, overhyped flu alive into the winter months. And then when flu season actually does kick in, of course, older people will be dying from the flu, and they will 100% attribute that to COVID-19. Very easy to see. So here he goes on to say, Trudeau says Canadians must continue to wear masks when possible, limit social interactions. It's no time for a party, and download the COVID-19 alert app so those who test positive can anonymously alert close contacts. Don't download the app. It's going to trace and track you even more so that we're already being traced and tracked. Why do we need an app in order to inform us of these cases, this resurgence of a BS overblown flu, unless you want to keep yourself in fear? Really, this thing has been done with many months ago, but they want to keep the fear alive as long as they possibly can. That's all it is. It's a powerful free tool that's easy to use and protects your privacy. How can it protect your privacy when it's tracing and tracking everywhere you go? Unbelievable, the BS these people come with. It's hilarious. And then he said the government has signed billions of dollars worth of agreements to buy vaccines, therapeutics, and personal protective equipment. Once again, who's going to be taking your vaccines? From all the comments I see on Global News and CBC and all these other news organizations, it's like 90% of the people are saying, hell no, I'm not taking it. This is not a tested vaccine. A vaccine takes 9 years to develop and be a safe vaccine. And most people are like, my mother-in-law got the flu shot. Actually, that's what I say. A lot of people say, I took the flu shot, I got sick, I'm not going to take this. Why would I take this vaccine? No. So there's like 90% of the people are not going to take this vaccine. So I don't know what they're going to do when this vaccine is available and 90% of the population says, F you, we're not touching it. We're not going to take it. We don't care about your vaccine. Mr. Trudeau, please take 37 million of those vaccines yourself if you want them. You paid for them with our hard-earned tax dollars. You wasted millions of dollars, or is it billions? I don't even know. Buying this garbage. You can take it. Give it to your family. Give it to your friends. Take it 1,000 times for each of your lovely friends and family, because I will not take it. My family will not take your garbage BS vaccine. Why am I going to take a vaccine for a virus that has an over 99% survival rate? How stupid am I to fall for such ridiculous, fraudulent tactics that you and the rest of the government and the media are instilling and pushing onto us? We're not that stupid. We have the internet. We know what you're doing. I don't know why you continue down this path. It's like basically you're breaking into our house. We turned on the light and we see you there, and you're hiding behind a cabinet. We can see you in the reflection. We know what you're doing. You're not fooling anybody. The lights are on. You've broken into our home. I see the broken glass. I see your footsteps. I can see your shadow. We know what you're doing. You're wasting your time with this nonsense propaganda blitz. It's not working. And he urged Trudeau to push Health Canada regulators to approve rapid testing device to ease the pressure on hospital-run testing centers that have experienced hours-long lineups in some parts of the country. Once again, the people getting tested are part of the problem. You realize that if you get the test and you're asymptomatic, meaning you don't feel anything, you're just adding to the problem, because they're going to put a little check mark that you have COVID-19, and guess what? The fear goes higher and higher as more people get tested and the amount of cases rises. Most of these people have no symptoms. So what the hell are we doing? This is a totally fictitious, fabricated pandemic. This is not a real situation. The amount of deaths are gone. Then it goes on to state, the economic impact of COVID-19 on Canadians has already been worse than the 2008 financial crisis. These consequences will not be short-lived. This is not the time for austerity. Canada entered this crisis in the best fiscal position of its peers, and the government is using that fiscal firepower. Remember this, the economic impact is not of COVID-19, but it's the government's reaction to COVID-19. They did not have to shut down the economy. They could have easily closed and put a barrier around these old folks' homes. What I mean by that is basically quarantine the people in the old folks' home, quarantine the healthcare workers and hotels, and make sure that they do not leave their bubble. You did not have to lock down the whole economy. The reason I say that is because the people dying from this, over 90% are from these old care homes. So once again, you did not have to crash the whole economy, but it's a planned agenda. And if the people watching this don't believe that, some of you watching this don't believe that and think I'm some kind of whack job, that's completely fine. But you can see the outfall all around us created by the government, not by the pandemic. They did not have to do what they did. They did it for a reason. They crashed the world's economy based on fraudulent numbers, based on scare tactics in order to scare people into submission. And what you tell me, what are these restaurants going to do if there's a second lockdown in the winter? Do you think these restaurants are going to survive, these gyms and whatever else, all these other businesses? Are they going to survive if there's another 2, 3, 4, 5 month lockdown? People have to dip into their savings even more so. No one thinks about that. Everyone's in fear about these ridiculous cases. Now it's not even about the deaths, it's about the cases. And in people's minds, they attribute cases to deaths. It's not the same thing. If you have the case of it and you don't feel sick, who gives a fuck? Who cares? All it is someone saying, you've got the case of this, and you're like, I feel fine. Oh, well, you have the case of it. They could say anything. But people are just falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. So that's the problem here, is stop feeding into the fear. Start waking up. Start paying attention. Ask questions. It's mind-blowing to me that this whole thing started in March, and now we're almost into October, and it continues. Meanwhile, the deaths are going down. Like, the writing's on the wall here, folks. This is so ridiculous that we're playing this whole charade here, and it's continuing like it's logical sense for this to be implemented. Just because the government wants another lockdown doesn't mean it has to happen. You don't have to follow in line. Would you follow a pedophile into the forest? That's the same thing as what we're doing here. We're believing their government at their word. Why? These people are known liars. Look what they've done to us this whole year, and you're still following and believing them? It's unbelievable to me. I don't understand it. I really simply do not understand why people continue to fall in line and follow all the suggestions and recommendations and rules outlined by this government. They're not here for your best interest. It's mind-blowing to me. It really is. And I just got to say this. If he actually does a second lockdown based on these cases and the deaths don't go up, then you know it's a total fraud. But the thing is, I know the deaths are going to come because it's going to be the flu season. It's already started raining heavy today in Vancouver. And you know how Vancouver is. If you're from Vancouver and British Columbia, when the rains start, they last for months sometimes. You know, it's raining and cloudy every day. People get sick here. Those flu deaths will be considered COVID-19. And this is what the government has out. That's why this whole plan, they knew the wave 2 was going to happen in the winter months because the flu season happens in the winter months. It's very easy to see. But you need to understand this. September, they've already talked about cases spiking in mid-August. Well, where's all the deaths this month? There's nothing. 16 people. It's crazy. Okay, let's go look at the BC Centre for Disease Control. So this is a Centre for Disease Control statistics here, and this is from a couple days ago. So the confirmed deaths are about 227. Once again, this is over a 7-month period. Most of those deaths were in the first few months. After that, it dropped like a rock. So I'm going to go here and show you, here we are. So they give weekly reports September 4th to the 10th. So the deaths, let me see here, total deaths. So this is 2 deaths. Okay, this is for COVID-19. 2 deaths in that week. So 3 deaths. Since last week. So that's basically from the 4th to the 10th. So September 4th to 10th, there's 3 deaths. The medium range of those is 85 years old. And the next week from, August 28th to September 3rd. We don't want that one. September 11th to 17th. So there's 3, 7, that's 10. Average age is 85. Let me see if I can find the first one. I know I had it here somewhere. Fucking shit. So September 4th to 10th, there's 3. So September 4th. And then, so September 4th to September 17th. So there was 10 altogether. So basically from the 4th to the 17th, 10 people died. 85 years old. I thought I had the other one here. Let me see here. One second. I'll just pause this real quick here. Okay, and this is August 28th to September 3rd. So there's a couple of weeks dipped into August. So August 28th to September 3rd, there's 6. 6, average age is still 85 years old. So you got 6, right? Plus 6 plus 7 is 13, plus those other ones. Where's the other ones here? 3. So 16, like I said, from basically August 28 to September 17. Is this a pandemic to people? Is this a pandemic? The average age is 85 years old. These people have underlying issues and stuff like that. So you tell me, does it make sense to lock down for a second time? They're talking about it. Now, if they really do it, I'm going to lose my shit over it. The chances of them doing it are probably very high since they've already talked about it. It's part of their plan. They want to crash the economy even further. But once again, being a logical person, not a person in fear like some of these people watching this video are. But you tell me, how is this a pandemic when 16 people have died in just under a month? Does that make sense to you? Does that make any logical sense? This is the real website. So, if you think this makes logical sense, that tells me that you want to wear masks forever, you want to social distance forever, you want Cactus Club and all restaurants to be half full forever, you want the churches to have only 50 people maximum in there forever, and all the other mandates and requirements that the government has told you to do the past 6 months, you want those to continue because you're living in fear and you do not want any more deaths. If you want to live in a bubble, please do that. Get rid of your car, don't leave your home, and make sure you don't eat any junk food and you work out every day because whatever you need to do in order to stay safe is what you should be doing. Living in fear is easy to do if you're a paranoid jackass. But if you have some common sense, you should understand these statistics show, specifically in British Columbia where I live, that a second lockdown is not required. A second knockdown is not necessary at all. And then you need to ask yourself, why are they wanting, if they do it, Why are they even discussing a second lockdown when there's the amount of deaths does not justify a second lockdown? It makes no sense at all unless they're doing it for other reasons. And those people who are not conspiracy minded, why do you think they're doing this? Do you really think they need to have a second lockdown based on what I've told you? Based on the evidence I've shown you from media sources and government sources, your expert sources? To me, it doesn't make sense. But some people will twist this in their mind and state, yes, this does make sense. Trudeau is right in doing this. I don't know how people come up with that assumption based on the facts that I've shown you, but there's a certain large percentage of the population that puts down their guard as long as they hear the Prime Minister speaking, as long as they read an article from CBC, they put down all their guards and they let these people do the thinking for them. Why? I don't know. They trust them. I don't know why, after all these years that you've been lied to, you can still trust these people, but a certain part of my viewers, a very low part, actually believes this is justified. I don't know when those people will change. Hopefully soon, maybe never. But I'm doing these videos for you and for all people to understand justifying a second lockdown really shouldn't happen. This is no way and no reason to lock down our economy for a second time. In no way they should be doing it, but they probably will because it's part of their effed up agenda, all part of the New World Order. But that's just a conspiracy theory, and we're not supposed to talk about that. Meanwhile, there's a supposed pandemic based on cases now, not deaths. You see how they change things? People don't seem to clue into that stuff. It's not about deaths now. A pandemic is a pandemic based on cases of asymptomatic people. I could have COVID-19. I don't feel anything, but if I got tested, maybe I'd get it. And then what? I'm a case? It's a casedemic, not even a pandemic, a casedemic. It's unbelievable. It's hilarious. This would make me piss my pants if it wasn't so serious. Okay, so something else I want to talk about here is all the hand sanitizers. Everyone's walking like this. They go into a store and they go like this. Oh yeah, I just cleaned my hands. I killed COVID-19. You people are fucking stupid morons. Why? Why are you using those sanitizers, you fucking idiots? Do you realize these products cause all types of different problems for your body? Here we are on a trusted source, the Government of Canada website, okay? And they have recalls for a lot of the hand sanitizers that you're using to kill COVID-19, right? Look at all these hand sanitizers. The starting date was June 17 and the posted date was September 14, 2020. And how many hand sanitizers? I think it was 95. 95 different hand sanitizers that they have here. It's unbelievable, actually. These are all recalled. Unacceptable ingredients, ethyl acetate. Unacceptable ingredients, ethyl acetate. So what is ethyl acetate? What's in it? Let's find out, right? So all those people washing their hands thinking you're staying safe, killing the virus. No, you're killing yourself because you're stupid and you're falling for this casedemic like a dummy that you are. So ethyl acetate is a widely used solvent for paints. Basically, it's a paint thinner for paint, varnishes, lacquers, cleaning mixtures, and perfumes. So it's a solvent, and now you're using it to clean your hands. Aren't you a genius? So you're trying to stop a deadly pandemic from killing you, but you're actually killing yourself using these hand sanitizers. So if I was you, I would go type in, I can't remember what I typed in for this, but I think I typed in hand sanitizer recall, Canadian government, and this popped up. So if you're using any of these hand sanitizers, do yourself a favor and throw it in the garbage, or even more so, bring it back to the store and try to get a refund because they're selling you a product that has now basically been banned. Because, of course, most of the products actually have ethanol. They've got this methyl, what is it called? Ethyl acetate, and other products that are not good for the human body. Why can't we just go back to washing our hands with with water and soap. Why is it that we have to use products that destroy our body in order to protect ourselves? Interesting how that works. So we're going to use something that's going to harm us in order to protect us from something that might harm us. What? This is the world we live in. It's ass backwards clown world 2.0, and people just suck it up and they love it. They absolutely love to be told what to do. Hand sanitizer? Yes, please. Yes, please. Why don't you guys just start drinking it? Mix it with your protein powder in the morning and just guzzle it back. Unbelievable how many people just simply don't ask questions, don't look at ingredients, and just follow blindly, follow blindly. Unreal. But look at this list. It just keeps going on and on and on. So these are all the hand sanitizers people are using. So something to think about. Just because your hand sanitizer is not on this list, I strongly suggest you still don't use it, because who knows, they might have a second recall and then the ingredients in your hand sanitizer might be recalled as well. Meanwhile, you've been going like this for the last 6 months trying to protect yourselves from an overblown flu, and you're basically giving yourself cancer and who knows whatever else is happening from putting these paint thinners inside your body. And if you haven't clued in, when you put something on your skin, it actually goes into your bloodstream. It doesn't just sit on your skin if you haven't clued in. The biggest organ on your body is your skin, okay? So start getting a clue and clean the rust off your brain, because some people are just out to lunch completely. Anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to touch on those two topics today. I could do this stuff all day long, but I really don't want to spend time. I don't get paid for this, and I just want to do the videos that I feel are the most important. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and share this video all over social media. Don't use hand sanitizers anymore, for fuck's sakes. Use water and soap. And if you have to go into a grocery store or a department store and they want you to use hand sanitizer, just pretend you're doing it. Go underneath and just pretend, just go like this. That's what I do. Oh, I'm such a bad person. I'm cheating because I'm not following the rules. That's what I think about that. I don't really give a shit about following rules if they're unjust and if they infringe on my rights or if they give me cancer or other medical issues down the road. Just because you think it's safe now doesn't mean it's going to be safe in the future. Very easy to see. These are all recalled from the Canadian government, and you thought they were safe 2 months ago, didn't you? Now they're not safe. So don't think because something's safe now, it's going to be safe in the future. Don't think the government's doing things for your benefit now, when in the future they'll retract it or they'll screw you over. So start using your common sense. Use your own mind. Don't give up your power to the experts, because the experts are a bunch of scumbags and lots of times they're paid off. And that's all I'm going to say. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video all over social media, and stay smart. Don't stay safe, because there's nothing to stay safe from except from your tyrannical government lying to you and your phony media organizations that are in cahoots with the government, bullshitting you on every single level of this pandemic, which is actually now considered a casedemic, a pandemic of cases from people who are asymptomatic. Thanks a lot for watching. All the best to you, and share this all over social media.